Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, they are known to have a calming effect on people. Aquariums come in all shapes and sizes. What you need to know to get started with your new fish pet. They're cute, but they are also a lot of work. We are breaking down some of the do's and don'ts to raising a puppy. And a touch can be a powerful thing. Just ask Jessie how getting a massage is offering some relief to this ex-race horse. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. Hello and welcome to Animal Outtakes. I'm Marcia Panucci, and this is my best friend, Zeus. Well, they're not fuzzy, and they certainly don't like to be held, but they're extremely quiet, and you won't need to walk them. We're talking about fish, of course. They do make good pets if you learn how to properly care for them.
It's a knowledge-based hobby, so you do have to do your homework, and you're dealing with living animals just as you are with a dog, cat, or a chimpanzee. You know, you're in charge of taking care of that animal, making sure it has a good life, and being a responsible pet owner. No, you don't have to take them out to walk them. They're not going to bite the mailman, but there's other caveats involved that you have to feed them daily, make sure their water is nice and clean, and
now there's more to it than just we pick up a pretty glass bowl, we throw a few fish in, feed it a little bit. It's much more scientific than that, is it not?
it is.
Owning fish is a hobby that requires you to learn a wide range of skills, from biology, like testing the water and learning about chemicals, to decorating, picking the perfect accessories that are appealing for your fish and for your eyes. But the first thing you need to do is to get an aquarium.
So what is some of the criteria that we look for in the aquarium?
Bowls are actually more difficult than an aquarium, and it seems counterintuitive, but the bigger the volume, the easier it becomes. That's why so many of the carnival goldfish have a life expectancy of several days versus goldfish can live 40 years.
Really?
And it might be surprising to hear the water used to fill up these tanks comes right from your faucet. A few drops of a special liquid to take out any chlorine is all you need to do. Then it comes to the fun part, picking out some wet pets.
Is this something you would recommend to start with? And who is that lazy little guy over there?
The lazy little guy is only lazy because the light is on. He's a nocturnal fish called a Plecostomus. That is probably a 6 or 7 year old guy. They're very common in the hobby, but more in the 1 and 2 inch range. And the flighty fish that are in here are called Danios, as are these, and those are what I recommend as beginner fish. Depending on the aquarium size will determine whether you get the larger Danios or the smaller zebra Danios. And they're the first fish to put in the aquarium. They're reasonably priced, they're very hardy, and we are learning here in the beginning. So if we make a mistake here and there, it's easily absorbed, whereas with some more sensitive fish, that may not be the best thing.
Now these you called zebra.
Zebras.
And you can see the stripes.
Correct.
And they are absolutely beautiful. I have to wonder, where do they come from? Are you going to a particular area and scooping up and hoping that these will last in an aquarium? Or is this somehow a controlled environment somewhere that you go to and get your fish?
It's very controlled. The hobby has involved that the tropical fish farmers, as they're called, and we are the freshwater fish capital of the world. We have over 100 farms in the Tampa Ruskin area that specifically breed and raise their own fish. 95% of our animals are raised on a farm in controlled conditions, no longer taken from the wild. And it's a very important agricultural industry here in Florida and a source of employment for many people, not to mention how we benefit at the end of the line.
Fish are pets that offer someone company and brings relaxation and a sense of serenity as well. The fun part of owning an aquarium is all the hundreds of different fish and invertebrates that are to choose from, picking the right assortment for your aquarium. And of course, make sure that you go to a reputable place to get started. A new puppy can be an exciting time for your family and exciting for your new four-legged family member. Making sure your new pup is on the path to becoming a good dog, well, that all comes down to training. Training not just for your puppy. Dawn, we're here with a new puppy, and we talked in the past about socializing and integrating puppy with the other dogs in the house if you have other dogs. And as you well know, so many of us just can't say no to one dog. But what about people? What about socialization? And moreover, small children to babies. What do we do?
You want to socialize them as soon as you can. So if you know your lifestyle is going to have children in it, then get the children there when you, not the first day you bring the puppy home, but while the puppy's young at this age, because anything you teach them while they're puppies just becomes a part of their life. So having kids around, but of course you want to make sure the kids are treating the puppy correctly. You don't want them pulling on the tail or, you know, pulling on their ears, but socializing the puppy, whether it be with other dogs, with adults, with small children, is the most important thing. And even if you're not going to have a lot of children or whatnot in your regular lifestyle, it's still good for the dog, because if you're out and about somewhere and you have this dog with you, you don't want to have to worry if a small child comes over, how's my dog going to act? You want to know your dog is going to be polite. And that's why also teaching polite greeting, which he will learn as he gets older, is a very important thing. Instead of having, you have dogs that jump up on people and knock them down. But socialization is probably one of the most important things with other dogs and other people.
Now, we're socializing him, both with the two-legged and the four-legged, but we've got to put him on a leash.
Yes.
I have nightmares on some of the leash training. What is the best way? And should we have a collar or should we have a harness? What are your recommendations?
Well, if you start with a young enough puppy, either one is going to be fine as long as you're training the pup, because they will get used to the feel of it. And if you teach a pup this young loose leash training, which is where they learn to stay by your side or at least within a certain radius of your body, it doesn't matter. They're not going to pull. Now, if you have a dog that just is having a hard time learning this, or you're starting with an older dog that maybe has always been allowed to pull, then I would strongly recommend a harness. The harness, or there's even that new type of leash collar that they have that is it wraps around their nose. So when you're pulling them, you're turning their head on them, but you're never choking them. You're not hurting the trachea area, which can be harmed when too much pulling is being done.
Right. And so many of us have watched this over the years when you put a collar on and they start pulling and
yes. Yeah.
and they're dragging you along
Correct.
with it.
And it's dangerous. I've seen people fall down because the dog pulls them, so it can be dangerous. And he's going to be a big boy, so we want him to walk politely.
Yes. So to review, we get a new puppy. We need to have a very soft collar, but get the collar on them so that they get very comfortable with it and they're not doing this. It's
Right.
a part of them.
Right.
And I know that one of the things I used to do with my dogs is to indicate we're going to work now. I would put the collar on. When we would come home, I would take the collar off And so they realize they have
They
to
know.
work. So we have the collar, we get a leash, we have their own food bowl, their own water bowl, and a lot of love.
And a lot of love. That's the most important part.
Coming up later in the show, more puppy training tips and how the experts recommend you teach your new pup to use the potty. Oh, who doesn't like to get a little massage every now and then, right, sis? Next, we head to the stables to find out how some horses are benefiting from the power of touch.
Over 90% of the seafood that is coming in to this country is raised in areas of the world that don't have the highest standards. And so our approaches are aimed for two things. One is to help feed the world. The second is to do it in an environmentally friendly and sustainable way.
Every dog deserves a lifelong loving home. Dante's Den provides a pristine, comfortable haven for dogs that have been abandoned or surrendered by their owners. We ensure that every pup in our Joyful Dogs adoption program receives lots of love and attention, is properly immunized, spayed or neutered, and is in good health. Prospective pet parents undergo a thorough adoption review to ensure a lifetime of love and care. Find your new furry best friend at Dante's Den. For more information, go to dantesden.org or call 844-DANTES-DEN. Dante's Den, continuing the love.
Welcome back. You likely have heard of a massage therapist, but what about a therapist that specializes in equine massage? That's right, horse massage. Using the power of touch similar to that in human massage can be beneficial to the horses. Let's take a look. Donna, we're here with this beautiful, beautiful horse named Jesse.
Yep.
And he's yours.
He's mine.
Give us a little history of Jesse.
So I found him, a friend of mine was at a horse auction, I think in Arcadia, about a year ago, and she bought him. And she didn't really get along with him very much, and she brought him over one day, and I was on another horse, and she said, well, just get on him. I said, all right, I'll ride him. Oh, I just absolutely fell in love with him.
Now we know that there are some very wonderful medical benefits to massage, and you apply your techniques to Jesse. Can you tell us and lead us through what you do for Jesse?
I work on him about once a week. Every horse is kind of different. He's very nervous and kind of internally holds a lot of stress and tension and like nervousness and
Is he
anxiety.
anxious? Is he anxious?
Anxiety, because he gets nervous. Like, what do you want? What do you want? I want to do it, but I don't really understand. So he holds a lot of tension and he's just tight. He's just tight. So I go in, and when I work on them, I go in and like I can just put my hands on him, and he'll start to think about it. So he's thinking right now. His muzzle's going to twitch. He's going to twitch. His muzzle's going to twitch. I don't know if you can see it.
Now,
and he's going to blink. He's
is
going to
that
breathe.
more like an energy treatment?
This is, I do this first. Okay, see, he just was licking and chewing. So now he released some tension right here, and then this in his pole area. So now I can just go in and do this, and he's nice and relaxed, and he loves it.
He's enjoying every minute of it, and I'm living vicariously through you, my dear.
Or you
so
have
you
to have.
could teach me.
I can teach anybody.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
You think Jesse would like my massage?
Yeah.
I think we should try
anybody
it.
can do it. There's a lot of energy and a lot going on here, flat work and in jumping. So this
Now,
is a really good place to work.
How much pressure do I put on?
Nothing.
Because I'm just laying my hands.
So you just lay your hands,
And
we're
I'm
gonna,
feeling him. I'm really feeling him. And he's just relaxing. When I first put my hands here, I could feel tension. And now,
Oh, he's always tight back there. He has a
Now-
long back, so his work makes him tight back there. So now he's thinking. He should be used to this by now, but he's still thinking. Watch his eyes, see his muzzle's gonna twitch. What you think? So now he's checking you out because he just never had anybody work on him.
Right,
So he's
and-
looking at you going, what's
and
going
he's
on?
trying to figure out if my touch is good enough.
He's thinking, now his eye's getting softer. The horse tells me everything. Tells me where to work, how to work, pressure, time. It's all up to the horse.
You know, so many of us get massages. I certainly do. I get one a week. It's so therapeutic and so relaxing. Is he feeling the same way?
It is. I mean, look at him. His head and neck have dropped. His eyes are droopy. His ears are like he's just relaxed right now. So by the end of 2 hours, they're ready to take a
They're
little
kind of
nap.
like Gumby.
Yeah. And it helps them for show horses because they're athletes like us. Their muscles need to be worked on because they hold so much tension. It's so hard for them to let it go, and sometimes it turns into bad behavior. So I can go in and work on the horse and say, okay, he's tight in the back because your saddle doesn't fit him. So it helps with movement and mobility so they're happier in their work, which makes a better show horse. Like with him, I can tell if I ride him and he's real tight everywhere, I'm like, oh, I gotta work on you again. So I'll go in, work on him for a good 2 hours, head to toe, and then the next day he's just right there. He's up and he's forward and he's moving and he's happy. I'm just in heaven every time I work on him.
I don't know about you, Jessie, but I'm getting relaxed just watching you. In one study, horses who did receive a massage therapy were more relaxed than other horses that did not. Donna says she would agree. Equine massage can benefit a horse mentally, physically, and emotionally. Don't fly the coop. More Animal Outtakes is next. Think about it. What kind of pet can actually make you breakfast? You know, Zeus, you've never done that for me. If you have a backyard chicken, you can get breakfast every morning if you desire.
When you go outside, they just come running. Some people think that they're just like dumb animals, but they are actually really nice animals that actually love people. It's a lot of responsibility. I mean, you have to feed them every day and you have to give them water. You have to make sure that they're safe from all the predators. But the reward is their eggs and their kindness, and they're just really nice animals. So it's not that hard of a job.
Well, Charm is sort of my companion, and she follows me around and she comes up to me every day to see if I have food for her, and I have to give her special food because of her cross beak.
Charm especially has taught me that, like, to celebrate people's differences, because she and bravery because she has a cross beak, and if it weren't for us feeding her special food, if she didn't trust us, then she could have died, and because she's a very brave chicken and she's taught me a lot. So there's lots of different varieties, and that comes with different temperaments and personalities. Chippa, she was Charm's sister, and she used to find every place that you would not even think of to lay eggs. She laid an egg in my dad's hat in the garage on his tractor. I think it was around the holiday season, and there was a wreath on our door, and she laid a egg in the wreath, but she never laid an egg in the actual nesting boxes. When you just feed them the regular corn and then chicken feed, they don't get as much nutrients as they would if they ate bugs and grass and stuff that they would eat in the wild. So the yolks actually get more orange if they eat stuff that they would naturally eat in the wild, which would make the eggs they would make the eggs healthier. If you just feed them the regular stuff all the time and don't let them free range and get the nutrients they need, then they wouldn't be as happy and they wouldn't lay as good eggs.
The best part of having chickens is getting to have their fresh eggs and just being able to be outside with them because they're really kind animals.
Be sure you do your research beforehand. Know the law in your area. While your county might approve of your chickens, your homeowners association might not. But all in all, chickens can make great pets for those willing to commit to everything ownership entails. We'll be right back. Potty training. This is an important lesson. If you have a puppy, this has to be the first thing you want to make sure they learn. Where to go? And it's not always that easy. Of course, Dawn, when we get the new puppy, potty training, I think, rises to the top of the list.
Yes, yes.
And all of us get frustrated. I've tried everything. I've tried the wee pads, I've tried the New York Times, sorry, and I've tried many other things, but really having them go out and learning to do their business in a certain area and then bringing them back in, would you think that that is one of the best ways to do it?
Yes.
And will the older dogs teach them?
You know, they say they will learn from the older dog. I think what it is if you always take them to the same area, they're going to smell what's been done there, and so they eventually learn. And if they go there, then they will learn. As long as you always bring them to the same spot, they know. And you can use a word. Whenever I train a new puppy and I bring them to that area, I say, go potty. And after a while, it clicks together and they learn that, okay, this is where I go to do it. And I've had dogs that actually will go almost on cue when you say go potty. And with a puppy, you have to be consistent. You really have to watch the times, because to train them, and until you figure out their schedule, every 20 minutes, you want to bring them out and let them go. And lots of times what happens, people will say, well, I brought him out, he peed, and I brought him back in, and then he went to the bathroom in the house. They're babies, they're excited, there's all new smells. So if they go out and right off the bat, they urinate, that's great. But stay out there a little bit longer, because, give them time to make sure they're finished doing whatever they have to do. And if it looks like they are done, bring them in, wait 10 or 15 minutes, bring them out again, but always bring them to the same area.
But how do you differentiate for them, I'm going out to do business, versus, wow, I'm out here to play?
Well, that's why I said, like, if you have one particular area, that's just where we do our business, and that's it. And then if they do and it's done, as a reward, you could bring them to another area, and that's where you play. So they'll know their play area, they'll know their bathroom area, so to speak. So
in other words, keep those little treats with you and tell them a particular word.
Right, you can say go potty or whatever you want. And really, the treats are good, but even just praise when they go, or as they're going to, good boy, and they know, oh, this is good. She likes this. She's happy. We'll do this here, and you don't want to, when they're this young and they're learning, don't let them just roam loose all throughout your house, because you can't watch them. Because if you can catch them having the accident in the house, you don't want to scare them, startle them, yell at them, and please don't hit them or shove their face in it.
Yeah, that's
they don't
ridiculous.
Know.
You don't
they
put
don't
their
know
nose
what you're
in it.
doing.
They don't know what you're
ever
doing.
do that. But just if you could just no, and like kind of pick them up quick and bring them out to their area, eventually they will learn. It just takes time and patience.
We hope you've had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. Zeus and I will be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching. Let's go. Whoa.
Good boy.
Oh. It's all right. We can put the teeth back in. Don't worry. Zeus, come on. Let's go here. Oh, it's
Sophie that owns the barn. She does the warming every month. He's bugging you because he wants to hay.
His way! Better give me some food here. Okay, pal. All
Horses,
right.
people think horses are dumb. They're not dumb.